Since my school days, I've always had a highlighter in hand when studying and reading books, highlighting important bits. Still doing that, it feels good. But in recent years, I realized it doesn't help much with learning, and research shows the same.
I used to think I was doing something productive, and these highlights would make reviewing key points easier.
In this video, I want to talk about effective learning techniques. These methods have greatly helped me and still using them daily. Here's the first point. The more diverse subjects we study, the better we will learn.
So if you think narrowing your focus and concentrating solely on one specific topic will help, you might want to reconsider. Mixing it up a bit does wonders for learning. Dr. Robert Bjork, a cognitive psychologist at UCLA, found in his research that mixing up subjects, what he calls interleaving, makes your brain better at learning. See, when you switch between different topics, your brain must keep re-evaluating and connecting new information. It's like a workout for your brain, making neural pathways stronger and improving your ability to remember stuff later on. When you study various subjects, you're not just learning random facts. You're teaching your brain to spot patterns and use knowledge in different contexts. For example, studying history and literature together helps you understand the cultural and social backdrop of the books you read. Or learning about economics and psychology shows how people's behavior influences economic choices. This cross-subject approach makes learning more fun and turns you into a well-rounded thinker.
Like I said, highlighting while studying isn't helpful as you might think. Sure, it might help spot the main points, but it often leads to something called passive learning.
That's where you just mark the info without really diving into it, which can make you feel like you know the stuff better than you actually do. Researchers like Dunlosky and his team checked out different learning techniques. Turns out highlighting didn't do much for students compared to other methods. What worked better were more active ways of learning, like testing yourself and spreading out your study time.
Rather than highlighting, try asking yourself questions and using flashcards.
This self-questioning gets you more involved with the material, making you think harder and remember stuff better. It turns plain old reading into a more hands-on activity, which helps you understand and remember more. Why flashcards work a treat? Flashcards are A's for something called active recall, which is when you give your memory a good nudge while learning. This method ties in nicely with the testing effect, a well-known idea in the world of cognitive psychology. Turns out, when you're actively pulling information out of your noggin, you strengthen your memory and hang on to that info longer.
I myself use flashcards daily to learn all sorts of stuff, though not the paper kind. I'm all about mobile apps.
Search around and you'll find loads of cracking apps with top-notch features, like the one I use, which has this Ace AI that can whip up fantastic flashcards in a jiffy if you give it the right prompt.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Can't get much better than that. Make the most of flashcards using them right. Here are some practical tips backed by science.
Do this. Look at your flashcards more and more time apart. A guy named Ebbinghaus found we forget stuff fast, but going over your cards just before you might forget them helps your brain remember. Another thing is active recall. Don't just read them like a book. Try remembering the info before you flip the card. This helps stick it in your memory better. Mixing up topics. Like I said, switching between different subjects keeps your brain interested and helps you connect the dots. Jumble up your flashcards from various topics for a brain boost. Use images and mnemonics. Pictures and memory tricks make flashcards stick in your head better. Our brains love visuals, so chuck in some images and mnemonics to help you remember. Regular review. Keep at it. Review your flashcards often to keep the info on your mind. This fights forgetfulness and locks in memories for the long run.
But the thing is, it's not all about memorization. You need to test yourself to see if you deeply understand what you've learned or just know it on the surface. I talked about the difference between knowing and understanding in another video here and how to test your understanding. I suggest you watch that one next. See you there.